lymph nodes. This is a 49-year-old male with a right neck node that was thought to be atypical on radiologic investigation. This is the air-dried Giemsa stain, and you can see it's pretty much a dispersed population of cells, so very few groups here, more like a monolayer of cells, a few sort of loose collections of them, but no groups like an adenocarcinoma or an epithelial tumour. We can see a few things of interest, so a spindly shaped cell and some darker staining pigment and a binucleate cell there I was pointing at. Most of the cells, however, are what I would call plasmacytoid, so that means like a plasma cell. So they're a round oval shaped cell with a nucleus at one end, so not right in the centre. This is a binucleate cell that's of interest, and this is a feature we see in some types of tumours. We call these bug-eyed demons because they're binucleate and the nuclei marginate out to the edge of the cell. It looks like a sort of insect or something like that. They're often quite large cells with a big prominent nucleolus in each eye. So as we track around here, you can see most of the cells are plasmacytoid. The cytoplasm has a fairly indistinct edge to it, and this cell here has some blue-purple pigment in it. There's some more of it. You'll see quite a bit of that around the place. There's one there with a lot of it. You'll see that there is some binucleation, plasmacytoid cells, and a little bit of variation, so occasionally you'll see quite a bit larger nucleus. But it's got almost like a uniform sort of look to it. This is another area of the smear, and you can see here there's sort of some collections of cells, so they're not strictly lying individually. But they're very loose groups. If you look at them on high power, they're just cells that are kind of collected together as an artifact of the smearing technique. And most of them, you can see, have an individual border, and again that plasmacytoid shape, nucleus polarized at one end of an oval cell. This is the alcohol fixed pap stain, and we can see some red cells in the background, possibly some small lymphocytes, and then pretty much like the Giemsa, a monolayer of variably sized individual dispersed cells. You can see the chromatin pattern much better on this because it's alcohol fixed, and you can see it's quite coarse, a bit irregular. These are red cells. There's an odd lymphocyte around the place, but mostly tumour cells, much larger, notice, than the red cells or the lymphocytes. This is a larger cell. It's got a kind of interesting vacuole in the nucleus, I should say. It's actually not a vacuole but an inclusion of cytoplasm, and we call those INCEs, intranuclear cytoplasmic inclusions. Here's a big one in a very large nucleus, and you'll see there's quite a few of them around. There's another one there, quite a few in that one. Notice the chromatin here is quite coarse and gritty. This is pigment and what it looks like on alcohol stain. It's not purple but sort of golden brown, and that is commonly associated with melanomas, although only present probably in about half of cases. Just showing you the nice variation nuclear size here and the coarse irregular chromatin pattern. And finally, you can see there's quite a bit of pigment in this, and it varies. Some cells have just a light dusting of it, others it's quite dense. So the features we saw, it's dispersed arrangement with a few kind of loose groups, mostly cells that are plasmacytoid with cytoplasm that doesn't have vacuoles. There was just a few elongate cells. There was a moderate amount of cytoplasm, and pigment was a bit of a feature seen in it. The nuclei themselves were coarse with irregular chromatin, hyperchromatic. Binucleation was very common. There were bug-eyed demons and intranuclear cytoplasmic inclusions. Well, the only thing missing was really prominent single central red nucleoli, which are often a feature of melanoma, but not present in this, and possibly that's a fixation. fixation artifact. Otherwise, this is absolute classic example of metastatic melanoma in a lymph node.